Hi, it's Vex, and today we want to talk about speculation. That's right. I know it's a topic we don't talk about a lot in this channel. We talk about using EDH, and this is actually, talking about speculation on EDH card. Now, before you flame me and say MTG finance is horrible, it's the worst thing ever, I want to say I did this as an experiment for the channel. And also, before I go on, let's actually talk about what speculation is, the definition of speculation. It's in a world of finance. I'm reading this from like some kind of Wikipedia source. I forgot where I got it from, but in world of finance, speculation refers to the act of conducting financial transaction that has substantial risk. Remember, substantial risk of losing value, but also holds the expectation of significant gain or other major value. With speculation, the risk of loss is more than offset by the possibility of substantial gain. Now, I'm speculating that, not Hull Breacher, because Hull Breachers has been banned, lost value, but this is an example of a risk. If I were to speculate on Hull Breachers, I do have 8. I open them up naturally in my pack opening. I even have an extended art foil, which used to be very expensive, not very expensive now. If I were to speculate, hypothetically, say I speculate on Hull Breacher, I have the risk of losing value. Now, Hull Breachers, before the ban, was very strong, was one of the most expensive rares in the Commander Legends. If you bought it early, you had the possibility of having substantial gain, but the risk is real, right? If you speculate on Hull Breacher, you would have just lost money because of the ban. Okay. Now, I don't think I've said on the channel that I actually work in the financial industry. I understand speculation from a finance perspective, how it involves people, everybody. For instance, speculation, hedging, option trading, all that stuff. I work in that industry: commodities, securities, metals, currencies. I work in that space, so I understand how that works. And people are like, MTG finance is evil, devil. Like, you have no idea how any of it works because you're not in the industry. MTG finance is actually a beautiful thing. It actually helps markets move. How do you think Hull Breacher, stores can make money off Hull Breacher when it's banned, right? That's how that works. Also, think about when you go to your coffee shop or your pizza place, how the prices stay pretty stable, except for the market goes up and down like crazy. That's that's how speculation, options trading, futures trading, all that stuff helps stabilize price. So finance is good. Just imagine that. That's also why your 401ks go up. But right now, the stock market's tanking, so it doesn't go up that much. But essentially, that's how things go up in value. So finance is extremely good for you, for the common person. The end of my spiel about finance market and stuff like that. Let's talk about speculation according to Magic, right? And what I've speculated on and why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for science, for the channel. I don't plan to do it in the future because I'd rather just invest my money into cards instead of speculating on non-reserve list cards. I'm just gonna buy reserve list cards and just I'm not speculating. I'm investing, because speculating means I'm buying this and I plan to just try to make a quick buck. I guess speculating can be long-term investment. There's probably like a very minute difference, but I'm speculating because I want to sell this asset versus reserve list cards, which I want to keep on for a long term, like 10 plus years, and then cash out when the time is right. All right, so this is the pile of cards that I have been speculating on right here. I guess you can't see it, but this is a lot of cards right here. I'm not exactly sure how many, but these are the cards I've been specking on. I've been doing it, earlier, let's say early 2021 to right now. I've been speculating on some cards. Not Hull Breacher. Thank God I didn't speculate, but I did lose money because obviously I had these. I could have just sold these in the hype. So not Hull Breacher. I've been speculating a little bit on Augur of Autumn. I believe it's a very good card. It's in a new set, and I think at this point people are product fatigued. So I bought a couple, I think 8 of them right here. So every one of these penny sleeves holds about 8 cards. That's how I know, that's how I count. I got 8 of them, so it's a light spec. I think I'm gonna hold it, like, my goal of speculation is holding on to them for a couple years, 2, 3, maybe even 4, who knows, depending on how much I believe they will not get reprinted. There is always a reprint risk of these cards because they are not in the reserve list. So Vanquish the Horde, I'm doing a heavy spec on this. This is the Blasphemous Act of White. I know it doesn't cost 1 red, but it costs double white, but it does kill everything. I've had it where Blasphemous Act cannot kill a 14/14, which has happened. So I have about 48 of these. So I have 6 bricks of these Vanquish the Hordes. They're pretty cheap. I know on TCG Player, this store called the Gaming Company that essentially still sells these at about 6 something a piece. I bought them out. Cost basis is about $5 a piece. So I know that essentially these are worth $6 a piece because of that Gaming Company selling it at $6 a piece. But again, what I want to speculate on is this is such a good card. It does have a generic name, so it can be reprinted almost anywhere. I don't think they will reprint it. Maybe they will. Again, that's the risk. That's the risk of speculating. I could lose money because they could just reprint it in Commander Precon. It could crumble all the way down to like $3 because Blasphemous Act is printed in Commander Precon. But so there is risk. You asked how do I plan to unload these cards? I don't like selling on TCG because I don't want to deal with envelopes and everything. So I'm going to take less money by just buy listing to the highest buy lister. Eventually, like 15 at a time or 10 at a time. So Vanquish the Horde, I think, very, very good EDH card. Definitely want to spec on this. And, if they're still cheap now, so you can just go on TCG. Don't forget to use my affiliate link to buy a bunch of these. And just, use them for an EDH deck. Sometimes some of my specs I've actually just pulled. Like I've taken like 4 or 5 of these Vanquish the Hordes and used them for my decks. Definitely for Smothering Tithe. I've had a bigger stack of Smothering Tithes, and I just took them all for my decks. So sometimes specking has a good outcome because you just get to use it. I think I had 8 of them in this pile, and I just kept using them for my decks. And then my staples pile. So sometimes you spec on something, and then turns out well because you just use it yourself. Great Smothering Tithe. I think there is a reprint risk because there's a high demand for this card. In double masters and stuff, but again, if you look at the Commander trends, even if they reprint it in like a double masters like Psychonic Grift, the price goes right back up because this is an ultra stable. I'm only specking on very high-end powered cards. I'm not specking on fringe cards. Smothering Tithe is very powerful cards. Cost basis is about 20, 25 bucks. I think now it's worth like 40 or something, so it's good. I can also keep the last 3 Smothering Tithes and use it for decks, which I might just do. I might just never get rid of these, so that's that. I have a huge spec on Fierce Guardianship here. There's about 45 copies, so I have 40 here. 5 times 8, 40, and then I have about 5 Fierce Guardianships. Yes, that's a lot of Fierce Guardianships. Yes, this card's worth a lot of money. This has less of a chance of reprint risk than these other generic cards because this says the word Commander on it. They do not put the word Commander on cards like in Double Masters. It's a draftable set. That's why I spec'd heavily on this because this is insane. It's a free counter spell that costs, like Force of Will takes 2 cards. This is just, you just slam it on the table. I counter this when you have a Commander out. I've seen it hard cast like once out of, like 50 times I've seen this cast. So it's essentially a free counter spell. Very good. Worth about like, I don't know how much, 40 bucks now. My cost basis is about $31. So I'm making money off this. I think I plan to buy list some of these because there is a Commander Legends coming out this year, and I'm afraid to get rid of these. I actually had a bigger pile too. I had like 50, but again, they went to decks, so it kind of helped me out. I'm probably gonna just sell these off, buy list these. I think the buy list is 30 now, so and then plus the credit, expert 35% credit. I'll probably get 40 bucks buy list for these. So I'm gonna get rid of these at a 25% profit, which I think is pretty good. I'll hold on to some, so I'm definitely buying these. This I plan to hold on for a couple years. If they reprint it, they reprint it, but the loss is small because they're only like $5 a piece. This I might just use for decks. Another spec I've been doing is the more free spells, Deflecting SWAT. I started this after I did this spec. Obviously, I'm not gonna buy like if I were to spec them both at the same time, I would have less Fierce Guardianships. I think Deflecting SWAT I thought was not as powerful as Fierce Guardianship, but now I feel like there's just as powerful. I have about 17 of these, so not as many. I do have sealed decks, so I have more. I have about three of these, and I have about like 5 of these cycling decks here, and I have Calamax. I think I have a 3 sealed Calamax deck, so I still have more in the decks. Again, it has the word commander. That's why I respect really heavy on these things that have the word commander on them. Versus like this can just be printed anywhere. Commander Legends does, you know, like make me scared that these will get reprinted, but I think because of the value, Wizards doesn't like to reprint valuable cards at rare, so they might reprint them at Mythic. So Deflecting SWAT is very good free spell. I mean, it's almost as much as Fierce Guardianship, but not close. Flawless Maneuver. I have about 9 of these. I did have a lot more. Again, I keep stealing them, so it worked out pretty well for me. I got these for cheap, and now they're worth a lot more money, and now I just use them for decks I make. So now about these, and I'm specking really heavily. I got about 40 something of these. Wandering Archaics. I know this hasn't taken off as I thought would take off, but this is hard to print because it is a mono double face card. I know every set has double face cards, but I don't think a double masters will have a double face card, so they are a little hard to print. This is a very generic looking card, but a generic name, so it can be printed anywhere. They can print, you know, 2-sided, which again, I think there's always printing 2-sided cards now. Now it's not special anymore. So these are the cards I've spec'd on. I've only spec'd on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm still increasing my position here. I have about almost 50, so I'm going to probably get up to 100 of these. This I'm liquidating just in case Commander. You know, I'm trying to just lock in my profits, and the rest are just, you know, extra money. Even if it goes down, it'll go back up. These I'm keeping here. This I'm gonna keep for like a bunch of years. Came out this year. It's just hard to reprint because it's double-sided. This is hard to reprint here. This is just really cheap, so I just had to go after it. Anyways, we'll see how I do. I think I've done pretty well for this one, this one, this one. These are, you know, I think I've done pretty well for the staples here. These 3, you know, are to be determined if I do well. I don't recommend people speccing because it just ties up money. Because, you know, if you could see how much money this is, I know some sleuth is gonna just go calculate how much money of cards I have worth, like how much my stuff is worth. I have, you know, I'll say again, I have like 41 of these Wandering Archaics. I have 48 Vanquish the Hordes, 8 Augur of Autumn, 3 Smothering Tides, 9 Flawless Maneuvers, 17 Deflecting SWATs, and 45 Fierce Guardianships. Yes, that's a lot of money tied up. And tell you the truth, what I've been doing now is I'm just like, you know, it's too risky. I'm not going to spec on any more cards besides this card because I just really like it. And I just want a huge pile of it for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's just fun to have a huge pile of it. I'm not getting any more of this. I'm not getting any more of this. I'm not getting any more of these. Smothering Tide, I'm like probably... I started it as a spec, but now I'm just going to keep it just to use in decks probably. I have invested in some reserve list cards. Because the reprint possibility is very close to 0, you know, the less risk it is, but the less growth. Because, you know, like this stuff was selling for like 25 bucks or something, or maybe even 20, and now it's worth 40. So the growth potential is insanely high, but these are some of the reserve list cards I've been working on. Earthcraft, Replenish, Metalworker, No Rod, Yavimaya Hollows. Again, I just like holding on to these cards. I actually just like having these reserve list cards for some reason. I don't know why. I don't put them in decks because I have a rule. I don't put reserve list cards in my EDH, casual EDH decks, but I will put reserve list cards into my competitive EDH deck, or, you know, like legacy deck or whatever. So I might just trade, buy list all of these and just buy more reserve list cards. I am planning to buy list half of this, and I am planning to maybe buy like the Abyss or something. Yes, half of this is worth like an Abyss. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, if you want to spec, I don't advise it, but if you do, just use my TCG Player affiliate link in the description below. And as always, have a wonderful day.